must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
The government of Kenya is keen on the development of social economic infrastructure to support the realization of the Big Four agenda and Vision 2030. The ambitious infrastructure projects are aimed at opening up the country for business and bolster productivity, particularly in the agricultural, manufacturing and the service industry, as this would bolster employment opportunities. Part of these critical infrastructure projects include the ongoing 27-kilometer expressway linking Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Nairobi's Westlands. Upon completion, the expressway will exponentially reduce travel times within Nairobi and thus help the country save man-hours, which is being lost in the traffic jams on a daily basis. The Lake Victoria Port Modernization Project to increase cargo handling capacity of the port and to increase Kenya's bilateral and multilateral trading within the region. The expansion of healthcare facilities to facilitate fruition of the country's universal healthcare coverage under the Big Four agenda. By speeding up movement of people and goods, the government is aiming to promote trading through reduction of travel times and costs. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us again. I think about 25 minutes past 11 a.m. here in Nairobi, Kenya, East African time. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in. My name is Miriam Mugutu, and the show is The People's Court. And as a Nairobian, I think our next topic is something that I really am biased towards, because after the NMS was formed over a year ago, as a Nairobian, I was very curious to see how this new general was going to transform the face of this city. A few things he's been able to do around, but I'd like to get an honest opinion from my panelists this morning, which I think majority of them are from Nairobi. To first start off there before we bring you up to date with what General Badi has been up to in the city this morning. So on the panel this morning is Dr. Joseph Nyanchama. Doctor, I assume you are in Nairobi.
Yes, I am.
All right. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, very well. And we're also joined by Professor Jared Onyari. Professor, very good morning to you. Very well. Professor shall be joining us in a bit. And we have Musa Abdi all the way from Isiolo County. Musa, very good morning to you. Okay.
Morning, Miriam. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm humbled to be here.
All right. Thank you so much. And we do also have Douglas Kirimi from Meru County, who has wished that Badi would actually go there and head over Meru County. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on the show. Before I stop, I said that every county that is mismanaged across for the first 7 counties and bring development to the people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I did not hear so much from your side, but I think it's just a technical hitch here on our side, so they'll be fixing it so that I'm able to hear what you guys are talking about. Like I said, the NMS was formed over a year now, last year in March, and we saw that then Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko show up at State House. He was able to sign off and give away some of his functions to the NMS, and we saw how that transpired. A lot of drama followed, ensued after that. But so far, of course, Sonko is no longer the governor of Nairobi. He was impeached and later on removed. I think he went to challenge his removal in the courts, and I think the case is still still there. But so far, I think I'd like to hear from you, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, because we know when General Badi was brought into the city, there were a lot of conversations about President Uhuru Kenyatta trying to militarize the country, while President Uhuru Kenyatta having gone through a lot of frustrations with a lot of our public servants there not implementing, because we know, like the ministries and now the counties are very important in his bigger agenda of trying to realize his Big Four agenda. They are the implementers. So if you have very good policies, but the people who are on the ground who are supposed to be implementing some of these things are not able to understand their role in this, then it becomes very frustrating. And we saw President Uhuru Kenyatta, registering his frustration every now and then. Even one time when he came to the war of corruption in public, he asked, "Now, what do you want me to do?" And Kenyans did not take that very kindly. And so President Uhuru Kenyatta, we've seen him place key military figures in some very important, institutions in this country. Not so many of them, but enough, a few of them. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has worked with the military and with the National Youth Service and to rehabilitate the Kenya railways. You've seen that, and to rebuild the Thika and Nanyuki meter gauge railway by restoring the deteriorated embankment. So the reason why, and other things that the government, that the President Uhuru Kenyatta has used the military to accomplish, is because perhaps you don't spend so much. When you're involving the military, you don't spend so much, and it's quite cost effective into the country. And when we look at the topic we were having earlier about public wastage, I think we just take, we should just take advantage of the resource that we have, and we have very able men there in our military, as Badi has proved himself. I don't know if you have a contrary view to that, Dr. Joseph Nyanchama. How do you think Badi has done so far, over a year later?
Thank you, Miriam. First of all, let's look at this allegation that His Excellency the President is militarizing the county government of Nairobi. Miriam, if you go to Mombasa to swim, you become fish. Whether Mbadi is military by training, it was very clear identified him as a man who has a decisive command to bring sanity to the city of Nairobi. For the issue of militarizing, I don't think is here nor there. I think those are just gimmicks, trying to distract the big agenda from being executed. Secondly, then, coming to the question, going by what is unfolding, because I usually tell people that if you wash your clothes, if you cut it and wash it with the hot water, your brows of same texture, and spread it outside for sunlight to dry, before it begins to dry, it has, first of all, to cool to the room temperature before it begins to dry up. Meaning that if you wash a cloth with hot water and one with cold water of the same texture, the one with cold water will dry faster than the one with hot water, because the other one had to cool to the room temperature. Coming now to Mechambadi, he inherited things which actually result cannot be seen overnight. But from the look of things, I think things are calming down. He's trying his best. When the end reaches is when we'll be able to give authoritative verdict. But Miriam, it's not an easy matter. This is a complexity, and you will only start to see the result after some time. But from the way things look, I think he's trying his best, and they need clear support. What I could only suggest which has not been tried anywhere. If you want more resources to be able to execute many programs which do not have funding, you need to have a strategy how to increase resources without necessarily getting allocation from the national government. As you have heard, I'm an accountant by profession. I've always held this view. The best way of utilizing or making the city better is to give the people opportunity at source to participate as a partner to the county government. What do I mean? Let's take a shop, for example. Any shop in the city or outskirts, you know, the city sometimes become very dirty. You know, money has to go, they has to go through the procedure, tendering is done, and people are given opportunity now to tender and to come and clean the city. That's a contractor, or employees can clean the city. William, think about this way. What if you pass a legislation that if outside your shop, that distance, you are the one responsible, one to clean, to collect any litters, and what benefit do you get? We subsidize the tax on license. Tell me, Miriam, what do you think would happen across the city? Every person cleans his place. You know, you are not letting money to leave source. You know, money must be paid to the common treasury. You know, it is subject to leakage. First of all, you are preventing a leakage. Secondly, you are guaranteeing a continual cleanliness in the city. You clean your part, we waive part of the license. Hapo tumemaliza cleanliness. Imagine how the city will look. We are not paying you, we waive a little of the tax, which you are to pay. Go to the treasury, get some funny hands into it, steal some, what remains? Nothing. But generally, going by your question, I think going by the visible things is trying his best, although it is not an easy job. For now, that is all. Miriam, I could just respond.
Okay, thank you so much. So, a doctor there is saying, if at all of us will play our role, then perhaps things will be much better if all of us became responsible of especially our environment there. Professor Jared Onyari, NMS over 1 year later, how would you rate the performance of General Badi?
You know, Miriam, I am a supporter of General Badi. The organizations which I am associated with, Miriam, we have honored him for his exemplary service, Miriam. Miriam, remember, General Badi is a uniformed officer. He's a disciplined officer. He's good at taking orders from his the chief commander for the armed forces for the Republic of Kenya. He got him from the barracks. He has even assured him that no politician should be fearful that General Badi will take their job. He has got work to do, and his assignment will end next year, Miriam. Miriam, you saw exactly what he did. He had to repair more than 80 buses which had been grounded, Miriam, at a lower cost, Miriam. So, Miriam, what it is, Miriam, what makes life very expensive in this country, Miriam, is corruption. And this one, you do not need to see it in General Badi, Miriam. Miriam, sometimes, you know, I am an environmental impact assessment lead expert. It does not cost anyone, Miriam, to clean, to do washing the streets, Miriam. To put the litters in a dustbin, Miriam. So, Miriam, let me have this to say, and to be very candid to your question here, is that General Robert Miriam is focused. He knows what is doing, and he knows how to deliver Miriam, Dr. Miriam. And Miriam, you know, one day, Miriam, he went to a construction company, Miriam, where they was doing some construction, Miriam, and he was in the military gear, Miriam. The people who were constructing in a grabbed land, Miriam,